All right, and we are live. Welcome back, everybody, to Behind the ToolBelt, episode 295. I am your host, Ty Backer, and thank you for joining us on this Wednesday edition. We will be back after our short intro from our sponsors.
TC Backer. Roofing, siding, windows, gutter, solar. Roofing, siding, windows, gutter, solar. TC Backer.
Is your lead flow down? Whether you're a company owner, office staff, salesperson, or installer, you're a roofing rock star. We help you get more leads with custom SEO, Google Ads, and a pro website.
Welcome to Behind the ToolBelt, where the stories are bold, the conversations are real, and the insights come to you live, raw, and uncut. Every week, host Ty Backer sits down to bring you the stories, the struggles, the lessons learned, and the wins. No filters, no scripts, just the truth. Please welcome your host of Behind the ToolBelt, Ty Backer.
Hey, and we are back. Welcome back, everybody, to Behind the ToolBelt, where we bring the best in the business right to your earbuds. I'm your host, Ty Backer, and today I'm excited to sit down with a true sales powerhouse, a motivator, and roofing industry influencer, DaShaun Bryant. How you doing, buddy?
I'm phenomenal, baby. It's a pleasure to be back. TC Backer himself. I be having to remind myself Ty Cobb Backer is your name. I'm so used to saying TC, you know what I mean? So
Yep.
It's a pleasure to be back, man.
Yeah, man, it's so good. Like we were saying earlier, you were on episode 95, and that marks a special moment for us. This is that, whether you know it or not, you helped shape and set the new trajectory of this podcast, because when we started out, we were promoting TC Backer. We were actually promoting a charitable event that we were not hosting, but there's it's called Workforce Now program, which encourages students to get into the trades, and they were trying to raise some money. So we decided to build these gazebos and then auction them off at a local home show. So we started promoting it. We didn't know how to promote it. Somebody said do a Facebook Live. So we decided to get the iPhone 8 out and do a Facebook Live, like, hey, come on down to the York Home and Garden Show. We're auctioning off these gazebos. And then we went live the entire time we were at the home show. And we noticed that we were reaching more people outside the home show than were actually showing up to the home show. We're like, wow, this is pretty cool. So when the home show ended, we decided to continue the podcast, and we were promoting TC Backer and whatever other charitable events that we were, had going on at the time. And we were running out of content. You figure 90 some episodes every single Wednesday. Actually, back then it was Tuesdays, and then it switched to Wednesdays. We could only talk about shingles and nails and drip edge and step flashing, so much. And you came on the show, and it was like, wow, we kind of just like tapped into something new. And so thank you for that. And then ironically enough, 200 episodes to date later, here you are again, back on, Behind the ToolBelt, 200, episode 295, like years later. But now we have stayed in touch. You have came on our little 10, 15 minute clips that we do at the conventions and stuff like that. And obviously we stayed in touch. We've ran into each other, and we follow you. And we kind of thought, why not get him back on? So thank you for carving out, some time out of your day. I know you're busy as hell, from door to door sales, nationwide stages and all that stuff. And so thank you for coming on. And I got to say, and I don't know when I heard it from you, but you said, and I hope it was you. I'm pretty sure it was you. Winners win. you know, that has become like this catchphrase that I've used. So what does that mean to you, like when winners win?
Well, first and foremost, once again, I just want to say thank you for having me back.
Yes.
It's a few times I've saw you at the trade shows, and I avoided the podcast on purpose. And my mindset, and I tell everybody, even though, you know, I'm pretty strong with mindset, I'm a certified mental performance coach. Like, we all have our own thoughts and our own things that we need to be aware of. And sometimes I fight myself with this thought process that people tired of seeing me. I'm like, man, people tired of seeing this dude, man. So I try to avoid certain things to give other people an opportunity. So when y'all got me, offering me back, I'm like, nah, man, it's been a while. So I'm excited to get back on. I'm excited to tap in with, I view y'all as family. Like, the Behind the ToolBelt, TC Backer, like the whole squad, I just view everybody as family. So I just want to give a shout out to the whole, you know, the family, like everybody that's a part of what you do. Just let them know I love them, and I just want to say what's up. But winners win, right? What does that mean by that? Because winners do win, and you know the difference between winners and losers, right? It go winners never quit, and then quitters never win, right? So when I say winners win, I mean once you understand the formula for winning and what it takes to win, whether that's preparing, developing the mindset, falling in love with the process, learning how to be present, right? Establishing your BFF, which is your beliefs, right? That's half the battle. Well, that's more than half the battle. Believing in yourself and believing you the person who's capable of achieving these certain results. The F is your focus, right? What is focus? Being hyper aware in the present moment, not being too caught up on the future, not being too caught up on the past. And then the F is freedom. And what does freedom mean? The ability to take big risks without, you know, holding nothing back. So when you establish your BFF and you understand what it requires to win, it's easy to win at a consistent level, because this is the thing about it. Most people want to win, but most people don't want to put in the time that it takes to prepare to win, right? So the thing that makes it easy for winners to keep winning is they know what it looks like, even when they don't think they're gonna win, they still come out with the W. Versus quitters or people who aren't used to winning, when it looked like they're not gonna win, they'll take their foot off the gas. They'll start doubting themselves. They'll start finding every reason why it shouldn't work. Versus a winner say, I done been here before. This ain't nothing new. We've been in this position before. We've been down $200,000 and we got a month left. We've been in the field for 2 hours. We've had 0 deals. And we know that we got 2.5 hours of sunlight left, or we got X amount of neighborhood left to canvas or knock or get in front of. And we're going to come out with something. I always tell people, when you operate from the mindset of a winner, you know you're going to win. You just don't know when. So you know you're going to win. You just don't know when. And when you got that winner's mentality, you show up every day knowing that, hey, the W's going to come. We just don't know when they're going to come. And then also another thing that I've noticed that winners do consistently is they define their wins. And the wins isn't always in the results. Most people only put their wins in the results. So when you learn how to redefine your wins, and then when you understand that you're going to win, you just don't know when. It's about just falling in love with the process. It's about being present, and it's about enjoying every interaction, every moment that you get on a day-to-day basis. And then winners just going to come out on top, baby. That's what they do.
I love that. I love that. I love that. So when did you start using that mentality? Like, when did that occur to you?
I probably developed the mindset of like stepping into that winner's mentality probably like my second year into the industry, because my first few years I was just pure charisma. I was very result driven. I would go out there. If I had a good week, I was on 10. If I had a bad week, you know, I'm down in the dumps. And about 2 years into the game, I started developing a different mentality. And that came from investing. That came from studying. That came from reading. That came from getting around other winners. I stopped relying on just my thought process, my mindset, my intelligence, and I started tapping into other people's intelligence. And then osmosis is real, right? So you the sum of the 5 people that you spend time with, whether you believe it or not. If you hang around 5 broke people, you'll become the 6. If you hang around 5 winners, you'll become the 6th one as well. So then I made it my responsibility to control I call it your circle of success, right? Who do you decide to allow into your world that feed you information consistently? So I started getting around other top performers, and you know, whether that's, you know, Eric Thomas, the Myron Goldens, the Grant Cardones, just all of those guys. Even though they didn't sell what I sold, that energy, that thought process, that mindset, once it starts to become a part of you, what's I always tell people, if it ain't in you, it can't come from you. So once I started putting it in me, it started coming out of me. And then that's when I started developing that winner's mentality. So everywhere I go, man, I think I'm going to win. I always tell my kids, I got a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old. And if you ever meet them, you can ask them, what's your last name? And they'll say Bryant. And you ask them what it stands for, and they'll tell you greatness. Everywhere I go train, I say the way I'm trying to die, I'm trying to die Kobe Bryant, then I'm trying to die DaShaun Bryant, right? Because it ain't no other Bryants.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't no other Bryants. It's only Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm making it my responsibility I want to be put up there in the same level as Kobe. And Kobe had a winner's mentality. Kobe rookie year, it was like towards the end of the season, he was playing in the game and like he shot like 4 air balls. And everybody's like, oh, rookie, you shooting air balls. And he said, nah, I expected, my legs dead. Like I haven't built up my stamina to be able to do this shit. But that's a winner's mentality when you don't take that shooting air ball so personal, but you're like, oh, it's just a part of the game. That's just what we do. And then you grow from there. So I would say once I started changing my environments and the people that I learned from, I changed my mentality.
Yeah, I love that. I use that analogy too sometimes. Like when I was growing up as a kid, and we talked about this a little bit before we got live here. I always hung out with older people on the street corner, so I wanted to show out for them. I looked like them, I dressed like them, I spoke like them. And then obviously that took me down one path. But then when I got older and I realized that I had to change pretty much people, places, things, because my atmosphere wasn't conducive to where I wanted to go, and where they were, still some of those people, if they're even still alive, are still doing the same stuff and in the same place that they were. So I fully believe that you are the sum of those that you surround yourself with. And we have that choice today, who we choose to hang around. And sometimes that's uncomfortable. That can be uncomfortable, surrounding yourself around smarter people, surrounding yourself around people who will push you, not because they're jealous of you or because they envy you. They're pushing you because they want to see you succeed, and they'll question you and hold you accountable. And a lot of times that can be very uncomfortable, being around somebody who has been someplace you want to be or where you want to go. And, like you named a couple of people, and Eric O, he has been one of those people for me who has pushed me outside of my comfort zone, not because he's mean, not because he doesn't like me, but because he loves me and he sees something in me and wants to see me succeed, wants nothing but good and greatness from and out of me. So I completely agree that if you're hanging out with 5 broke people, you're going to be the 6th. If you're hanging out with 5 successful people, you're going to be the 6th successful person. And I try to be that inspiration. I try to empower people and help them and coach them along for just to see them succeed, not because I want anything out of them or from them, but just to watch them grow and succeed makes me happy, more than I can even imagine. And it's come back tenfold.
Hey man, I say the ultimate goal is to be aspirational, right? Like my ultimate goal when I die, like before I die, for me, if people say, DaShaun, how you know you made it? I say, I know I made it if my son and my daughter just say, I want to be like my daddy. Like, I just want to be aspirational, right? I think you got motivational, which is external. You get people going, you get them motivated, get them ready to run through a wall. You got inspirational, which is internal, where you got to pull it out of yourself. You got to continually keep yourself inspired. And to be inspirational means you're in spirit, right? Which means you know how to tap into that internal power force and pull it out of you on a day-to-day basis to keep yourself inspired to go accomplish your goals and dreams. And then the highest level is aspirational, where you model a behavior that other people want to become. So that's my ultimate goal, just to be aspirational, mainly for my babies, though. If anybody else get it, cool. But I mainly do vast majority of the things I do for my kids. I just want to be a phenomenal example for them. So that's why I show up the way I show up in my life,
Yeah, I love that. So when did you know that you were called to lead and inspire other people in our space?
To be honest with you, I didn't know. Somebody else saw it in me early, which was my first sales manager, because he's the guy that told me you was going to be my trainer. So he saw that I had that potential to, potentially lead and train people before I even did. And then once I started training my sales team and they started winning and they started achieving results, it's crazy how when you get to a place of being selfless, which is stepping away from being self-centered, because it's okay to be selfish. It's not okay to be self-centered. And the difference between those two are self-centered people think the world revolves around them. Selfish people take care of themselves first so they can take care of other people. And I think the word selfish got a negative connotation to it. So I encourage people to be very selfish. And then once I started becoming selfless and giving myself to other people, that's actually when you start living life, right? That's when life gets beautiful, when you do things to help other humans go to that next level. And I want to be very clear, I'm not on that level. I don't know too many people on this level, but I'm saying like when you start operating like a Martin Luther King, or you start operating like a Gandhi, or you start operating like those guys that give themselves up for other individuals, and you start seeing other people win, now you get addicted to the success of other people. And it's not because you help them get there, but to watch somebody else achieve something is a euphoric feeling that you don't get from achieving your own goals. Yeah. So once we watched the sales team start winning, I just sat back and thought to myself, I'm like, I can't be the only guy that got brought into this roofing industry that didn't get formal training, that didn't really get the information they needed to be successful. So I was like, if other people probably went through the same thing I went through, what if we just put out free information to help these guys be successful, whether, it work or not? Let's at least try it and put it into the marketplace. So then 2 years into the game, that's when we started Roof Hustlers, and we just started putting out free content with no permission. We didn't wait for anybody else to tell us if it was good or not. We just started doing the things that worked for us or that was working for other people. And then I probably would say about 8 months into me creating my YouTube channel, then it started creating momentum. People started DMing me, man, I love your information, man. This helped, man. I ain't never heard nothing like this, X, Y, and Z. And at that point, I took like two months off from posting content. And then I came back and I had like 800 subscribers. Wow. And once we gained those 800 subscribers, at that point, I was like, I got a responsibility. This is no more just like a cool putting out content, but you got a responsibility because people were bought in now. And I would probably say, about 2.5. Technically, the exact date was May 17th when we started Roof Hustlers. So I would say probably late May 17, early 2018. And then people started reaching out. And I'm like, man, we own to something. And it's our responsibility to continue to feed the community.
Yeah, I love that. And a lot of people, I've sat in the position where I just busted my ass to make ends meet. And my mindset was completely different than compared to where it is today. And it's like my mindset has shifted. My paradigm has shifted to more helping people. Like, this is what we're doing here. It's like, it's not about me. This isn't about me trying to make ends meet, but more importantly, how can we make others make ends meet or provide value, whether it's putting a roof on their home or providing employment for somebody and watching them succeed. And when you can change that, it just seems like things get easier. Okay. When you're not just chasing a paycheck yourself, but you're helping try to provide paychecks for other people, something happens, right? And it's not always easy to stay there, especially when you're during, stressful times or you're playing fireman and you're running around and you're putting out fires and stuff all the time. And it's like, and I think where it started happening for me is when I took on too much responsibility, and I was a very poor delegator. And I'm speaking in terms of operating a business, internally, where I was wearing 15 hats, and I did have a good group of people that were working with me. But the problem is that they were sitting outside my door waiting for me to tell them what to do, opposed to, empowering them to do right. And allowing them to make mistakes. And when I had that paradigm shift of like empowering people to make decisions and inspiring them to do great things within the organization and having my dream big enough for their dreams to fit in. And then as years go on, I'm like, okay, screw that. Like, dreams are one thing, but how about their legacy? How is my legacy going to be big enough for their legacies to fit in? Right. And in the atmosphere that we're in, it's kind of hard to do that sometimes, especially in sales, because egos are so big and everybody thinks they can do a better, quicker, faster, better job. But if you can create an atmosphere and you pay people good money where they're happy, and not just happy, but and content, but they're inspired because of what we're doing here. The goal is much bigger than just a paycheck. The paycheck's just a tip at the end of the week because we're providing services for people and we get to do this, right? And we get paid to inspire people. We get paid to improve the quality of people's lives. We put roofs over their head. We protect their biggest investments. And when you can have that mindset throughout an entire organization, right? Because it starts here first. And if your team can replicate exactly what we're coaching them, and then that radiates out onto homeowners. Homeowners want to be a part of that stuff too. When your people are bought in, right? And because they're so inspired, and then they go out and inspire people, right? That's where that true ripple effect and that legacy starts to be created, and it spreads like wildfire, that positive energy.
Well, I just think you always got to live for something bigger than yourself. And
Isn't
in
that
general,
true?
it like keeps your cup full, it keeps you energized, and life gives you who you are, right? So when you show up for other people and you put other people first, and you make sure other people can eat, and you make sure other people can thrive, you make sure they stepping into that best version of you, of them, and they chasing it consistently. Naturally, the way the universe is wired, like you're gonna get that in return in some form or fashion. And I'm a big energy guy, I'm a big principle guy. I don't believe in using my feelings to like operate throughout my day. It's based off the principles that I've got set in place. And one of my principles is we always take the high road. I don't believe in matching energy. I know people who say that, well, whatever energy they bring to me, I give it to them back. No, I always give better energy, right? I believe in I believe in doing more than what you get paid to do. I believe in tipping off principle, not service. So I tip 30% minimum when I go out to eat. And if the service is fire, I give you 35, 40%. So when you operate out of those principles, by default, you're going to get it in return tenfold. We was just in Vegas for my birthday, and it's just how funny this stuff works. I wake up on the 9th or whatever, and we about to go get the day started. And I say, I need to pay my video guys. I'm like, I need to pay my video guys. So I sent my video guys like $400, and I'm like, hey, I need to put some good energy out into this world because when I pay people, people love to pay me. That same day I paid my camera people $400. I went to the casino, I won $4,000 that night. And it's like it's just that fast sometimes, and you can't look for it; it just comes, right? So the principles are what govern my behavior, and I'm a firm believer. Once people get principles in their life over feelings, like the game change.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. No, I agree. I also agree with you too, on the selfish part of things, being selfless, and, the difference between selfless or selfish and self-centered. We have to take care of ourselves first and foremost. It starts here, whether we're educating ourselves, getting good rest, exercising, eating right, because it's like that analogy. If we're on an airplane and we're crashing, we got to put our oxygen mask on first, because if we don't, we won't be able to help the person sitting next to us or anybody else. And if we're not taking care of ourselves, now we're just playing the martyr. I'm 300 pounds because if I didn't have to take care of you all the time, you know what I mean? You're just playing the martyr at that point in time. And it's like, but we do have to take care of ourselves. And the most selfish thing you could do is not take care of yourself, to be here for a long time for your kids and your family.
1,000%. 1,000%. And you got to overcome the guilt of doing what's best for you before you do what's best for others. And parents, especially parents, they fight that all the time. And I tell them, I'm like, I'm the most important person in my life. People like, it ain't your kids. I'm like, no, because if I don't take care of me at a high level, I can't take care of them babies at a high level. So I love my kids, but they come second behind me. But since I'm putting me first, they always get the best out of life.
I love that. I love that. So speaking on energy, how do you protect your energy, and what fuels you?
Oh, so I'm a very simple guy, right? So I'm gonna tell you what fuels me, because I'm a big believer in God. I have no religion, but I believe in God at a very high level. So the thing that fuels me is so I got a mantra that says, I am happy, healthy, wealthy, focused, and dangerous. I'm a pro. Every day I'm taking steps to move my family forward, right? Changing lives everywhere I go, making connections to get keys to open new doors, right? I inspire, I empower, I make impact. We see the best of people, we help them get to it. We don't run from challenges, we embrace them. I am love. Everywhere I go, I spread love, and I show up. And when I show up big, right? So that's just my daily mantra when I wake up and get every day started. And I always tell cats, the day you learn how to wake yourself up, let me know so I can do it consistently. Nobody know how to wake themselves up. God just wake you up every single day, right? Every single day. Think about it. Sometimes you wake up 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. Sometimes you wake up and you be like, man, I didn't even want to wake up yet. But you woke up. So just the ability to wake up every single day alone just gets me geeked up, because tomorrow ain't promised. And people say that, but they don't believe it. They don't live it. So the fact that I woke up today and I got another opportunity to beat life ass, excuse my language, but the fact that I woke up and I got that opportunity, I'm geeked up. Like, I'm geeked, right? Not to mention, I woke up in America. I could have been born in like Africa. I could have been born in like anywhere, but I was born in America by the graces of God. So the fact that I get to wake up, pursue my dreams every single day, like, I'm just geeked up. Like, my energy be on 10. You can't catch me having a bad day. One time my car broke down, and this lady walked by. She was like, it's just one of them days, huh? I said, no, ma'am, it's just a moment. And she was like, ooh, I like that, right? Because I'm just geeked up every single day. So that's what naturally energizes me, right? Like, I energize myself. I don't need to listen to no motivational music. I don't need to be just getting up out of bed. For me is just, ooh, I'm on 10. And then how do I protect my energy is I'm very selective with the people that I allow to be close to me, like on a regular day basis. So I don't hang around negative people. I don't hang around pessimistic people unless you're a positive pessimistic person. And people say, what do you mean by a positive pessimistic person? When you're a person that sees the way something could go wrong and I didn't think about that. That's a positive pessimistic person where it's like, hey, that's a good idea, but what if this happened? Thank you. I didn't think about that. Versus you continuously telling me how things gonna go wrong, I keep you away from me. Right. So I'm just really big on protecting my peace. Some people call them energy vampires.
Yeah.
People that drain you. So like, even if you call my phone and the first few words out of your mouth is just telling me about how something going wrong at X, Y, and Z, I'll start the conversation over. Oh, excuse me. Oh, whoa. First and foremost, let's restart this thing. How you doing today? Ask me how I'm doing. Right? So let's just get the energy right before we even start this conversation, because you're already coming in on some negative stuff. So I try to do my best to protect my energy. And then most importantly, I just have high levels of gratitude of the most simplest things. And every day you wake up is a blessing. I got a homie that died in February, man, 33 years old. I'm pretty sure he thought he was going to make it to 34, right? So the fact that you got another day on this earth is the only thing that get me energized, man. And everything else that come after that, that's a plus.
Yeah. No, good stuff, man. I love that. I agree with you so much. And it's like, I know I've gotten caught up in some negative shit. And today I do understand that I have the choice. I have a choice today to either surround myself around negative people, right, and get sucked into that, whether it's gossip or just pure negativity, or I have a choice today to surround myself around positive people. And I protect my time, a lot better than I used to. I used to think that, I used to accept unacceptable behavior, and that can range, all over the place. But today I really try, especially like on Wednesday mornings, I'm usually pretty jacked up. I'm usually pretty fired up, about the podcast and stuff like that. So I don't book like a bunch of meetings and stuff like that where potentially something negative could pop up. Right. Because being an entrepreneur, being a leader, being in a position of authority at times, we don't hear all the good positive stuff. A lot of times I get the bad calls. Right.
Well, that's what you get 80% of the time if we be on 100.
Yes, for real. So
in the position we in is people calling to complain, people calling how something ain't working, people calling how somebody didn't do something right. It's rare you get people that just call to celebrate with you.
Yeah, exactly. So I try to protect my time, and today I get to put a buffer in between. I have an assistant, who handles some calls for me that takes care of emails and stuff like that, because, my time is more precious than it ever has been. It's always been precious, but it seems like the older I get, the more I want to protect my time and choose wiser on those that I allow into my space, just because I don't want negativity. I don't want drama in my life today. I'm not saying that I can't deal with adversity and things like that, obviously, or else I wouldn't be standing here today. But it's like I can kind of pick and choose my battles a little better today, and take a high road. right? Like it's not worth the stress. And Jen and I were talking last night about, you know, how great life is. And it's like, you know, we've made it in all those times that I've stressed over stuff, but it's always worked out. It's like, why do I continue to put myself in a position or in a mindset of like a negative space? It's going to work out. It has always worked out. Like we've been blessed beyond belief. And it's like, here we are, just like, take a look around. Like we got a roof over our head. There's food in the refrigerator, even just those little things, right? It doesn't have to be some grandiose, brand new vehicle out in the park. Like this, it's the little things. It's the micro things that if you can really stop for a minute, take a look around and find that gratitude instead of being so ungrateful all the time. And I think that's what it comes down to. That's why people are so negative, because they can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. They can't see what's actually in front of them of like, you know, like you can walk, right? You're not in a wheelchair. Yeah, I can walk. Can you run? Yeah, I can run. Are you standing vertical? Did you wake up this morning? And it's like just getting yourself in little small habits of like thanking God for just waking up in the morning. Like you were talking about, it's like my morning routine. Like I've trained myself to thank God. I'm not a religious guy. Okay. I think I've been to church 3, 4, maybe 5 times in my whole life, but I do believe, you know, in God, you know, and you can cut that up in many metaphors, like good orderly direction, a group of drunks, a gift of desperation, however you want to split that up. I believe that there is a power out there greater than myself. And he's given me the opportunity today to, you know, he's given me that second chance. And what am I going to do with this second chance? Am I going to live in misery and negativity and create drama and participate in gossip? Or am I going to spread light? Am I going to spread the joy? Am I going to bring the energy? I even went as far to the extreme. I read a book, John Gordon. It's called The Energy Bus.
The Energy Bus. That's
yeah, man. I love that. Right. So I'm not real big on titles and stuff like that, but in my email signature, I am the CEO, and it says below it, Chief Energy Officer. It is my job today to bring the heat, to bring the energy, right? And not in a negative light, bring the heat, but I'm talking about like inspiring people and letting them know how enthusiastic I am about what it is that we're going to do today and what it is that we're doing every day here.
1000%. And people ask me how, like, I go train companies, and they're like, man, you always like on 10 like this, like you, like everywhere you go, you just always like this. I say the difference between me and y'all is I'm an energizer. You need people like me. Like I get your energy up. I don't have no source that I go to every day that gets me geeked up and then I go step into my day. I'm the guy that people come to for energy. So I always got to protect mine at the highest levels. That way it's always where I need it to be for the other people in my life. So I know I'm an energizer. So everywhere I go, I'm just, boom, spitting out little spurts of energy everywhere I go, because I need to leave environments better than how I found them. And that starts with the intentions that you bring into the environments that you are. So I'll be at the airport, and I'm just like, I just want to sprinkle good energy everywhere I go. Just leave people feeling amazing.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that. I'm going to change gears here a little bit. What advice would you give someone who is winning but doesn't feel fulfilled?
Oh, that's a really good one. What advice would you give somebody who is winning but they don't feel fulfilled? Yeah. So typically I would say if you winning but you don't feel fulfilled, it's because this is my opinion anyways. I think you're very superficial, which means you chasing all of the desires of the world, possessions, accolades, validation. Like you chasing these external things that are out of your control, and then people never gonna give them to you, and you're gonna get them. Like you're gonna get them, and you still not gonna feel that feeling of being fulfilled. And kind of to do a callback, I think you're gonna find that fulfillment the day you find something bigger than you that you're working towards every single day. I think that's where the purpose comes from, right? That's where fulfillment comes from, when you're working on something that's bigger than you. Because, you know, humans, my personal opinion, and based off the stuff I've studied, it's our responsibility to serve each other. Like we all got to be connected in some form of fashion. So yeah, you might be winning, but how do you get that fulfillment? Go help somebody else win. Go serve at a soup kitchen. Go give back in some form of fashion to the community, to the locals, to family, friends, whatever it may be. Like my last year, I did a bunch of speaking engagements. I did a bunch of trainings. And people say, what was your favorite training of the year? My favorite training of the year last year, I had the opportunity to go speak back to my the high school I played football at. And I got to go back and, tap into the youth and just give them some mindset training, some thought process. And that filled my cup more than any check anybody could have wrote for me. Mm-hmm. And what made it even more special, my kids got to come see me do it. So my daughter and my son came with me. And that right there just gave me so much fulfillment. So I think if you winning, but you're not fulfilled, you chasing these external things, you chasing trophies, you chasing checks, you chasing validation, you chasing possessions, you chasing validation, and they gonna give it to you. And even when you get it, it's still not gonna be enough to fulfill you, because that fulfillment, like I said, it comes from serving other people, to watching somebody go from zero to this, watching somebody else that was struggling get into a better position, right? So I think you got to figure out a way to give more of yourself to more people or more things. And I think that's where fulfillment come from. Because the reason why I love doing roof hustlers, because people ask me all the time, you making YouTube money? I say, no, I don't monetize it, right? Like I'm not Dimitri, like I'm not Lee. I don't care about views. That's not what I'm chasing. What I'm chasing is putting out quality information that every time somebody go look at my YouTube, they can come back away with something practical and go get new results. And then shoot me a DM and say, hey, bro, I tried that new thing that you just put out and I just closed the deal. That's the fulfillment for me. It ain't the numbers. I don't care about the numbers. That's why that's why my content is very consistent. It's educational. It's educational content that you can apply and go get results. Because people are like, man, you should record yourself in the field and get all of these I'm like, no. The purpose is to educate, inspire, and uplift the roofing community. So I don't want to make it about antics. It ain't about antics, man. It's about practical information you could take, go apply, and get some results. And I just trained a company in Ohio this past weekend, taught them some new strategies, techniques, just simple things, right? Dude texted me after I leave this weekend, literally yesterday. Hey, man, just close the deal on the spot, filed a claim just because of this little technique you taught me, man. Thank you so much. Another dude, hey, man, sat down with a homeowner today, gave him a retail price, asked them where they needed to be. I got the number to where it needed to be. Profits were still at a healthy margin, sold them on the spot. Thanks for, teaching me how to control the sales process. That's where the fulfillment comes from. It wasn't the check that they gave me. It's the fact that sales reps reach out to me after I leave to show me how this information is still allowing them to thrive and step into that next level. So.
No, I love that. I love that. Giving yourself to others is definitely a great way, and giving back, is a great way, because you can give money, you can give, monetary things and possessions and stuff like that to people. But I don't think you get true fulfillment until you actually give your time, to somebody else, especially when you feel like you don't have time. Especially then when you feel like you don't have the time, that's when you need to be giving back. You need to give back. You need to pour into other people. And there is no more fulfilling, rewarding feeling than when they come back to you and let you know what advice or what time you gave them, really helped them along the way. So I agree with you. I agree. Everything that you just said. Great response to that question. And
just to add a little cherry on top to that, it's like, if you killing the game, right? You making money, you that sales rep, you killing the game. It's still a sense of hollowness there, because like you winning. But the day you help the other people around you start winning, because I tell cats, the worst part about making money when you're the only one in your crew that start making money. That's the worst part about making money. But when you get the people around you, everybody else start eating at the same time, you so fulfilled, not only because all of your friends making money, but it's because you went out of your way to help them start winning. Now we all winning together. Now we got an energy and a synergy of success and winning. And all that's going to do is spill over into other people's lives.
No, I agree. What would you say are the top 3 traits that you see in the most successful sales reps?
It's really good. It's so many things I've heard, but I'm gonna go with the ones that I believe, right? Because obviously you like a guy that's competitive, you like a guy that's like achievements, and a guy that's optimistic, right? People can say those things. But I would say that the top 3 traits that I see in highly successful sales reps, First one is they got self-awareness. They got the ability to know what they're good at, what they're not good at, the parts of their game that need improvement, the parts of their game that's good that just need slightly enhancing. They understand if they're a good listener. They understand if they talk too much. Like, they got high levels of self-awareness. And because when you lack awareness, you can't improve nothing, right? So when you're not self-aware, you can't improve. Second trait, I would say, they got big energy. Like, they got a lot of energy. You need energy to win, man, because what it takes to accomplish big things in life, it requires a lot of energy. Like, you gonna go out there and sell 2 million in a year. You know what you gotta do? You gotta have enough energy to get up and do that shit again next year, and then do it the next year, right? You gotta have enough energy to go out here and crush it, have an 8-deal day, and wake up again and go have the energy to go do a 7-deal day, right? I'll be on the road coaching and training. Come home on Sunday, got an event on Monday. I kick it with my game for a little bit. I'm back on the plane Monday morning. I got enough energy to show up Monday and blah, just empty the tank, right? So you got to have high levels of self-awareness. You got to have big energy. And I think the third trait and quality that I've seen in highly successful sales reps is they got the ability to get back up when life beat them up.
Yeah, I love that. Resiliency.
They can deal with adversity. They got that grit. You know, they'll have a bad month, and instead of making a big deal about it, they're like, oh, let's get up and go do it again. You know, they have a bad day. Oh, let's go get up and do it again. They can just keep showing up, even though life isn't playing in their favor, because they understand life is like a game of basketball. You're going to have runs, right? It's going to be sometimes you miss 5 shots in a row, but that don't mean you stop shooting, right? That don't mean you go home and have a pity party. So I would say self-awareness. They got enough energy to show up and do big things on a consistent basis. And when life start beating them up, they get back up.
I love that. I freaking love that, man. No, I agree. Resiliency is big. Self-awareness, self-development, and like we talked about earlier too, not being selfish and self-centered, wanting to serve, and everything that you talked about. Because I hear a lot of people say outwork everybody. But what I think what they're talking about is like that what they're working on is like all the negative stuff. Like, they're not like it does take a lot of work to show up, be the first one at the office. It takes a lot of work to be the last one at the office. It takes a lot of work to hit 100 doors a day. Like, that's what that means to outwork anybody and bounce back. You know, when you knock on 100 doors and you don't get any inspections. Like, those are tough days, and to be able to bounce back from something like that, consistently bounce back and not let it get to you, not let it wear you down, you know, and always show up and not go home and take it out on your family, right? Like that takes a lot of work, you know, to kind of shake it off. You know, you're going to strike out. There's going to be a lot of strikeouts. You're going to miss field goals, right? But it's the things I think it's the reps that you put in consistently. And you just keep coming back and suiting up and showing up and putting in the work. Good things over time are going to happen. And there's a lot of guys too that don't understand, especially when it comes to knocking doors. It's like, once you've knocked doors for so long, like, you won't have to continue to knock as many doors because you've created raving fans, you've created referrals, you've created repeat clients and stuff like that. So like, if you can put in like the first 2 to 4 years of like knocking doors, like you I'm not saying you won't have to go back to knocking them every now and then, but don't ever forget where you came from, because there will be moments where you might have to go out and knock some doors. But once you put in all that up work front, you're not going to have to knock doors for the rest of your life.
Well, I'm glad you just said it, because you said 2 to 4 years.
Right.
You ain't say 6 to 8 months.
No.
You ain't say 1 year.
Right.
2 to 4 years. And guys are getting the game 1 year, get a little bit of referrals coming, and they stop knocking doors. And you right, man. You got to have a certain mindset, because you said everything, right? You're going to build that referral pipeline. But another reason why you won't have to knock as many doors is your skill set going to increase. You're not going to need as many conversations. You're going to talk to 10 people and get 3 versus it used to be you have to talk to 10 to get 1. And you increase your skill set. You build your mental fortitude. You develop your mental toughness. You develop your ability to deal with high levels of adversity. And that's why my analogy, right? African lions versus zoo lions, right? And what people fail to realize is the thing that makes African lions so deadly is they wake up every day and they hunt, whether they get a kill or not. Lions don't go 2 days without a kill, and they say, "Man, the hell with hunting, bro. I'm about to go to the zoo. Like I'm about to go to the zoo where they feed you every day." Lions don't say that. They say, "Well, we got to get up again tomorrow and go chase it again." And the part that lions develop, obviously, I don't know how a lion think, but I'm just talking about from a perspective is that's why if you notice the African lion, they're more stout, they got more muscles, they're more fierce looking. And yeah, we're afraid of a zoo lion because we know it's a lion, right? It's a lion. But you can see their ribs, they look skinny, they don't look healthy. Why? Because they wake up every day and they don't go chase nothing. And that's how I tell sales reps the purpose of going out there and going on the doors every day or prospecting, let's just say prospecting, right? Every single day is because it builds up all of the intangibles. It's things you can't see that gets developed when you go out there and hunt every single day. And if you don't do that, you typically won't last long in this industry.
Isn't that the truth? You got to kill what you eat, man.
Amen.
Or if you want to eat, you got to go out and kill.
Gotta go kill something.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yep, for sure. Yeah, it's not. I get it. This lifestyle isn't for everybody, and that's okay. There's a place in this world for you. But like you said, this overnight success happens in about 10 years, at least from my standpoint of view. Or maybe I'm just a late adopter or some shit.
I agree with you.
It takes time, and like you said, a lot of people want to come into this industry and they think in a couple of months they had one good storm, and they made it and they've arrived and they got the big jacked up trucks and the big 80-inch TVs. Save your money, man. Save your money. But you got to get back after it. All right. So before we run out of time here, because this is such a great conversation, man.
It is, man. I enjoy it. It.
Yeah. I got some personal question for you. What is one book that you read that has changed your life?
It's so many, but if I had to point out the one book that changed my life, there's this book called Awareness by Anthony D. Mello. And Anthony D. Mello was known as a mystic, and a mystic is kind of like people that reach the highest level of consciousness, kind of like Buddha, Jesus, people like that. And this was the last speech he gave before he died, and they transcribed it into a book. And me and my kids and mom, we separated 5 years ago now, which is crazy. I remember when I used to only say a year, but it's gonna be like 5 years now. And that book is what helped me get through my separation. And I read it every year, at least once a year, twice a year. And it's just the epitome of what it is to be awareness, right? Because that's the number one trait you need to develop as a human, as a sales rep, as a anything, just awareness. And as you become more aware in life, it's bittersweet. Because you don't date the same once you become aware, right? You don't even befriend people the same once you become aware of things. But then on the flip side, it's life is more beautiful because they say the life not worth living is the sleep life. Going through life sleep is not worth living. So raising your level of awareness, but it's called Awareness by Anthony D. Mello. It will blow your mind. Right on. I'll have to check it out. I have not read that yet. Mine was Start With Why, Simon Sinek. I think it's actually up for its 15th anniversary. It's been around 15 years, but basically it covers everything that we've talked about, giving back, making other people feel important, feel special, empowering them to make decisions and encouraging them to win. Great book for me. I'll have to. Yeah, man, he's good stuff. Good author. That and The Infinite Game, both of them by Simon Sinek, just fire. Yep. Nope. I agree, man. Leaders Eat Last, all that stuff. I think he had 65 million views on his TED Talk back in the day. He was number 2. But anyhow, if you weren't in sales, what do you think? What would you do? If I wasn't in sales, man, I'd probably be rapping, dog. I probably would be full blown into the music thing. Love making music. Me and my homies them just put out a new album August 1st because our homie died and he inspired us to get back in the booth, which that's another reason. That's how powerful it is when you live life for other people, when you do things for other people. We ain't make music together as a team for 12 years and we still good friends. We just never came together and put a body to music together. As soon as our homie passed away, we put a whole album together in 4 months because it was bigger than us. We was doing it for somebody else. But I probably would be making music, man. Music was my first love. I've loved making music since I've been like 8 years old. Elementary school, like we was in the library center, and my library teacher used to let me get up in front of class and read my raps in front of my classroom. I used to do battle raps. I was like 11 years old. I was battle rapping like high schooler. So I probably would be making music if I wasn't fully committed to coaching and training and helping people grow. And just a quick little side note on that. The day door-to-door sales got like extremely fun for me was the day I connected the two dots of like making music and performing is the same thing as sales. But instead of performing in front of crowds of like people and you singing songs, I just get to do a one-on-one performance.
Yeah.
And once I adopted that mindset, oh my goodness, my sales went through the roof.
I love that. I love that. Why don't you sing us something?
I got one for you. Cause you know we did the Roof Hustle song, but I give you a few bars from that, something from that. But it go, excuse my language. You probably forgot all the shit that I done taught you, the epitome of a hustler. And you're looking at the altar. I'm considered one of the best, but I don't really like to boast. I'm on them planes every week, catching flights from coast to coast. Started off on them doughs, but now I'm doing keynotes. Started off as an O, but now I'm more like a kilo. When I first started this shit, man, they was looking at me crazy. Now I'm all across the country. Mama, like, look at my baby. Couple ups and downs, but man, that's part of the journey. If my name ain't in that shit, then it really don't concern me. Couple I go Chuck T's on and a couple gold chains. Hustlers, hustlers, hustlers. Bitch, you know the saying.
Dude, that gave me goosebumps. That was so good. Good. Cool. One more question for you, man, before we get off here. What has been the best advice that you were ever given?
Oh, man, that's a really good question. The best advice that I was ever given.
Yeah.
I've been given so much great advice, so much great perspective. But there's like I'm gonna give like a 1 and a 1.2.
Yep.
The best advice I was ever given was by this dude named Mr. D. He was a teacher friend of my kids and mom. And it was a gay dude, awesome guy, but he was like gay back in the days when it wasn't cool to be gay. So he had to hide it. So he just was an easy dude to get along with because he wasn't flamboyant and all those things. And he sat down with me, and the best piece of advice he ever gave me, he said, DaShaun, the thing that made my relationship so like fruitful is when I was young, somebody told me, do you want to be happy or do you want to be right? It's like, if you always rather be happy, give up being right. Because being right doesn't usually lead to you being happy. So I've always took that piece of advice, and anything that I do, like even with me and my kids, the mom, I ask myself, I'm like, am I fighting to be right? And if I'm fighting to be right, I probably need to give it up. Mm-hmm. And then the 1.2, it would be probably from the good homie Adam Bensman. He done turned into a brother to me. And I got into some legal issues a few years ago. Had to do a little bit of time in jail, nothing crazy. Had to do like 60 days, and we powered through it. But he sat down with me, and the piece of advice that he gave me, he said, DaShaun, I want to let you know, your decisions don't just affect you. It's like, I know you used to just like taking care of you and moving, because I've always been like that in my life. Like I didn't really care about what other people thought. I just do what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And he taught me that every decision you make affect at least 3 to 5 people around you. So before you make decisions, think about the 3 to 5 people that's going to be affected by that decision. So that piece of advice since that day has made me like, I pause on a lot of decisions that I make now. Instead of just saying yes now, I take a step back and I'll be like, okay, this is going to affect my kid's mom. This is going to affect my kids. This might affect my assistant. This could affect my business partner. Okay, let's think about how they're going to be affected by this decision. Okay, maybe we need to put off this decision, go talk to everybody, then come back and say yes. So I would probably say them little 2 pieces of advice changed my life, man.
No, that's good. That's good. And that's how you live with peace too. The first thing that you said, do you want to be right or do you want to be loved? Right. And I've used that analogy. And do I want to love? Right. And do I want to be loved? How important is it that I need to be right? How important is it that I just need to die on that hill? And sometimes it's not even worth the fight because I just want to love. I want to be,
man.
Yeah.
The ego don't want to be embarrassed. It don't want to be bothered. It don't want to be ridiculed. So that ego gonna fight to be right all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. And the decision making, man, I had to work on that too, man. A lot of times especially when I was a kid, I didn't even think about consequences. I just did things, you know,
Mhm.
I sure as hell didn't understand that my actions, you know, affected everybody, especially those around me. And it seemed like I always hurt most the ones that loved me,
Always.
you
Always.
know, yeah, because of my decision making skills were bad. And, you know, and I think that a lot of that comes with, you know, growing up and maturing and things like that, and seeing myself in other people, right? When I see myself in somebody else, right, and they're acting out or they're making poor decisions, it's kind of like, ooh, you know, when I can get to that point and see like I've done that, I've said that, and I don't want to look like that or sound like that.
And you just said something crucial, right? Like maturing, right? And if you ask most people, you ask them what is maturity, they can't give you a clear, defining answer, like what it means to be mature. And maturity is having obedience, which is compliance to an order with gladness. You got to be able to submit, right, which is the fact of accepting or yielding to a force with excitement and enthusiasm. And the third key to maturity is acquiesce, which means to reluctantly accept a thing without protest. So when you're obedient and you submit to people and you possess acquiesce, you usually do things you normally wouldn't want to do,
Mhm.
but it's the right thing to do. And maturity is more about what's right. Immaturity is about who's right.
Right on. So
So
good.
them some things I just do to always keep myself in a good headspace. I know we about to wrap up soon. Can I give a shameless plug before we get up out of here?
Absolutely. Go for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls all around the world, you know what I mean? For all my shinglers and my shingals, right? If you're out there hustling, listen, November 13th and 14th is going down in Atlanta, Georgia, baby. The best hustler experience. We're doing a 2-day event. It's the first event that I've ever hosted that we're putting on. Me, my business partner, Bruce, Nick Brandon, the coach in our academy. We got Brandon Geyer, phenomenal mindset coach, coming to coach and train. Listen, it's going to be different than anything else in the roofing industry. It's an experience. It's not a conference. We're not talking at you, but we're going to work with you. It's only room for 120 seats, so it's not going to be no big event. But listen, if you want to learn and grow and tap into that next best version of you, meet us in Georgia, November 13th and 14th. Tickets only $200, right? So it ain't no way you can get that type of information at that price. So don't wait too long. Pull the trigger. We'll see you in Atlanta.
Man, good stuff. Good show, man. Thank you. So November what?
13th
13th,
and 14th, baby.
13th and 14th. Okay. We'll have to, do you have a link that we can get off of your Facebook page or
Yes,
anything?
sir. We can get you the link. We can do all that good stuff. Yes, sir.
Okay. Good. We'll put that in the comments. And man, thank you. Huge thank you, DaShaun, for bringing the fire, the wisdom, you know, the winning, you know, winners win energy. We all needed that today, man. I know I did. And if this is an episode that got you guys fired up, please make sure you follow DaShaun on the social media. He's always dropping gold for sales pros and leaders, man. I watch your stuff. I love your stuff. And I forgot to tell you this too. Last year, or it might even have been this year's RoofCon. Um, we normally take a good group of our team down there, but everybody from our team said that you were fire on that stage down there at RoofCon, man. I forgot to tell you that. So I
Oh, I'm
want you to
pro,
know.
man. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, man.
Yeah, I wanted you to know that. So, man, if you enjoyed this show, do us a favor, man. Leave a review, share it to your team, and make sure you subscribe for a more powerful conversation coming your way. Until next time, keep knocking, keep growing. And remember, behind every tool belt is a story worth sharing. I'm Ty Cobb Backer, and this is Behind the Tool Belt. We'll see you next week.
Much love, baby.